Thanks for clicking on the video. Hit the subscribe button for more weekly content, and hit the notification bell so you won't miss a thing. Yikes, so that just happened. The Digidestined might have gotten themselves a new golden Digi-Egg, but they still lost pretty badly. Not only that, but it seems that things aren't looking too bright for our little rebel Gatomon. What's good, peeps? What's poppin'? How are you doing? Welcome to part 8 of our What If series. What if Kari was the Digimon Emperor? Before we begin, I want to let you all know that the next few videos are going to be a tad bit different due to me not having my desktop at the moment. You know, it's still moving. The biggest difference is that you won't see me on the screen. But you guys aren't here for me, you're here for the story. As we traverse through the story of Digimon Adventure 2, we're finding out just how different events would play out had Kari Kamiya become the Digimon Emperor. If you're new, first off, hello and welcome. Glad you're here. Go on and check out the previous 7 parts so that you can be all caught up on what's going down, because let me tell you, nothing is the same. At this stage in the story, the original Digimon Emperor's reign would have been just about over with the defeat of Chimeramon. Clearly, that's not the case this go around. Our Digimon Emperor's true goals are just beginning to manifest, and it'll take a miracle for our heroes to take her down. See what I did there? In the last part, I asked for you guys to vote on who you think will get the golden Digi-Egg of Miracles. Let's continue the story to find out. If this video gets 20 likes, we'll continue the story into part 9. Thanks to a message from Jenai, the Digidestined make their way to the location of the golden Digi-Egg. The team was still bummed about the defeat a couple of days prior, but they knew that this was the only option they had. They eventually reached the area where the Digi-Egg was supposed to be located, but since it was in the desert, there was no way of knowing exactly where it's hidden. I guess the only thing we could do now is dig, said Davis, with everyone nodding in agreement. The Digidestined spent hours digging through what felt like an endless pile of sand. And if that weren't bad enough, they spotted the Digimon Emperor's mobile base making its way closer over the horizon. Oh great, what are you going to do now? We haven't even found the Digi-Egg yet. Well, I'm not going down without a fight. We might not have the golden Digi-Egg, but we're still Digidestined. Let's go, Vmon! Right, Davis! Vmon armored devolved to Flamedramon and charged right in. The others briefly shook off their nerves and followed suit. They were determined to end this fight differently than before. Once the team pulled up in the front of the base, they waited for Kari to emerge. Once she did, they were greeted by a horrific sight. To her right was Mekomon, but to her left was Gatomon, with a dark ring around her neck. Kari? What did you do to her? Oh, you don't like it? Not only is her new dark ring fashionable, but with it, she won't be able to pull off a little stunt like before. But enough about that. I do believe there's another golden Digi-Egg around here. I believe I'm owed a second one since my first one was stolen. But we're gonna let you have it! I wasn't asking. At that, both Gatomon and Mekomon digivolved into Lady Devimon and Maycrackmon, and the fighting commenced. Sneak attacks weren't gonna work this time. Well, not like they worked last time either. But the point is that a sneak attack is no longer an option. This time they split up the 2 ultimate Digimon amongst themselves. Taking on Maycrackmon was Flamedramon, Digimon, and Rhinomon, while Halsamon and Buchimon fought Lady Devimon in the air. And just like before, the 2 ultimates were too much for them to handle, even when they're the ones outnumbered. Rhinomon's armor was solid enough to defend the others from Maycrackmon's claws, but all they could do was defend. The airborne Digimon weren't faring much better. They felt Lady Devimon hit harder than ever, with ferocity unlike before. The dark ring took away any form of consciousness or restraint she had before, and that made her all the more dangerous. Even Buchimon's heavy beam did nothing to soothe her fighting spirit. Back on the ground, Maycrackmon's attacks were beginning to take its toll. Digimon was left wide open for a lethal blow. The feline lunged in for the final attack, only to be intercepted by Flamedramon, who managed to protect his friend at the last moment. However, this hit was still strong enough to cause him to revert down to Vmon. Vmon! Davis cried out, rushing over to his partner. Davis, wait! TK tried calling him back, but it was of no use. He made his way to Vmon's side, and though Maycrackmon tried to attack the Digidestined, Rhinomon and Digimon managed to hold it back. Vmon, are you okay, buddy? Never better, he responded, though clearly he was more than a bit dazed. This thing is tougher than anything we've ever faced before. Even with Rhinomon, Maycrackmon's still kicking our butts. You have to keep trying, Davis. If we don't defeat her, the digital world is done for. Not just that, Kari won't return to normal. Davis saw a fiery look of determination in his partner's eyes, unnerving and bright. If you're ready, Vmon, let's get back in there. Right! And at that moment, A brilliant light erupted from the sand around them. The same golden light TK was familiar with, emerging from the sand and floating in front of Davis with the golden Digi-Egg of miracles. That's correct. You guys voted for Davis to be the one to receive the Digi-Egg. Let's see if it works. Everyone present was in awe at the brilliance of the second golden Digi-Egg. Well, except Kari, who was fuming that this was stolen from her as well. Without wasting any more time, Golden Armor Energize! Digimon Golden Armor Digivolve 2! Magnamon! They did it! A second Digimon with the power of an ultimate on their side. And quick aside, I'm more than aware that Magnamon is a royal knight that's on par with Mega level Digimon. Seeing as how Digimon isn't very consistent with their writing, Magnamon can be either an ultimate or Mega level. For our purposes here, this Magnamon is an armored Digimon with the power of an ultimate. With that in mind, Magnamon wasted no time closing the gap between him and Crackmon. Shaken by this, the cat Digimon attempted to make space again, but Magnamon seemed to be able to match her in speed, closing the gap once more. You go on and help the others. This one's mine, Magnamon instructed. Crackmon, don't let them get away, Kari commanded. But when she tried to stop Rhinomon and Digimon, Magnamon blocked her way. This infuriated the feline and the two clashed. And just like with Rhinomon, Magnamon's golden armor was impenetrable. Unlike Rhinomon though, Magnamon was fast enough to land solid hits. With Rhinomon and Digimon assisting Halsamon and Buchimon, Lady Devimon soon became overwhelmed. I can't believe it! We're winning! And he was right. While the other three Digimon distracted Lady Devimon, Rhinomon charged in with an atomic burst, promptly reverting her back to Gatomon and destroying the Dark Ring in the process. Back to Crackmon, she was getting more and more tired and injured thanks to the Golden Warrior. Kari was becoming more erratic, losing almost all the pop she had since the beginning. Crackmon, her ultimate creation, losing. Her ultimate plan, ruined. Magnamon, I think it's time to end this. And he did just that. In a giant burst of energy, Magnamon unleashed his Magna Explosion, which completely obliterated Crackmon. She was no more. They had won. With both her Digimon down, Kari had no choice but to surrender. But that was easier said than done. Do you really think this means you won? I'm the Digimon Emperor! No one is more powerful than me! Don't think a minor setback will— Kari! DK shouted while holding something in his arms. She turned over, and the sight she beheld was one that was worse than any nightmare. It was Gatomon, and she was dying. Rhinomon's final attack on her was a lethal one. For the first time in what felt like centuries, Kari wept. She leapt down to the ground and rushed towards her partner. Gatomon? Please, say something. I'm sorry, Kari. I wasn't strong enough. But because of everyone else, you're bad. These were all that she could utter before completely turning into data and scattering. Kari's hands were now empty, heavy with the revelation of all that she had done. Bearing it no more, she let loose a devastating wail, surrounded by the somber, forlorn stares of the Digidestin, who could feel nothing but pity and despair. Sure, they had won, but at what cost? As Kari continued to lament the loss of Gatomon, her Emperor garb faded away, and there she lay in the sand, passed out, defeated, and returned. And that's where we'll end for today. That was a rough one. I originally had no intention of, quote, killing off Gatomon, but as I mentioned at the end of the previous part, there would have been a different path based on who received the Digi-Egg of Miracles. This was definitely a bittersweet path, emphasis on the bitter part. But that's clearly not the end of our story. Digimon Adventure 02 has a lot more adventure post Digimon Emperor, and just based on Kari's deeds at the Digimon Emperor, things are just now getting juicy. So tell me, what do you all think? What will happen in the digital world now that the Digimon Emperor is defeated? How will Kari assimilate back into the Digidestin, if she's even allowed to? Thanks for taking the time to watch this video. Like, comment, subscribe, you know, all of that good stuff. And I'll catch you guys in the next part. Bye.